Hello guys, we are now in Soledar. The situation there is kind of terrible for Ukrainian army. Ukraine starts the evacuation from the area. You may call it retreatment or any kind of other word, but the main thing is to save our soldiers in that place. Basically, we cannot do much in that territory. As you can see, this is the half circle around the city, and the only road that leads from the Soledar that the Ukrainian army will use for evacuation is under the constant attacks by the Russian forces. Russian forces, I mean the Wagner group, and as you can see, it's the most equipped and the most effective from all of the Russian forces. So as you can see, they still can take the cities. This map was published the last night, so it's not the recent update, and I guess that Russian forces already in the city center of Soledar. At least we got the reports about it. On my personal opinion, Ukrainian army did the mistake over there. The reinforcements were sent to protect the Soledar, but they were sent very late, and Wagner group was able to take the time for the counterattack, and basically they partially encircled the city even before reinforcements arrived to Soledar. And I can tell you that my mate who was there in Soledar, he's a Ukrainian soldier, he already left the Soledar city and he is nearby in the city suburbs. However, as you can see, the army is regrouping, and Ukrainian officials still say that they're controlling the city or partially controlling the city. But my friends, the result will be the same. Russia unfortunately will take Soledar under their control. It's kind of the informational victory for them, and especially for the Wagner soldiers. They may say to Putin that they are a significant force and they need more investments for their Wagner group, which is actually the private Russian army that doesn't belong to Putin. It belongs to Prigozhin. He's the leader of the Wagner group. But the Russian army command decided to put some counter-reaction to the Wagner army, and we're gonna speak about it today. So what was done today by Ukrainian army is that they got out the main group of Ukrainian soldiers, but still some of them left and they are fighting in Soledar. Wagner group claimed that they entered the city from the north and south and they trapped our soldiers, but for now, my friends, I can state that it's fake. They still may occasionally fire to the place using their artillery, but they haven't closed this circle, and still there's the big risk that they may do so. And they say that there are around 500 soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers, left in Soledar. I don't know about the actual numbers, but probably there are some of the Ukrainian soldiers. And this is the Deep State map resource. They have live updates, and what they do, they match the videos from the drones mostly with the current map. And here, for example, Russian forces tried to enter the residential area through the fence from the industrial part of the city, but Ukrainian artillery worked well and they just lost in that fog, I would say. And Russia, it's been confirmed that they are in the city center of the Soledar. And there's the photo of the Russian soldiers saying that they were able to take the administrative building, one of those in the central part of the Soledar city. One more photo showing that Russia is taking the city step by step. By the way, my friends, thank you so much for your support on the Telegram channel. There I upload this information more often, and more current information you may find in the video description below. There is the link for my Telegram channel, and recently it was a glitch on YouTube, so my last video just lost the views, and it's been confirmed by YouTube officials. So thank you so much for keeping subscribing on my Telegram channel, because the Telegram, I think, is more reliable compared to YouTube. So see you there as well. This is the photo of Prigozhin, who's the leader of the Wagner soldiers, and he's in the salt mines of Soledar. Well, the Soledar city itself, it has the two words in its name, Soledar. It means salt gift or something. And basically the city, first of all, was built to mine the salt that is under the ground. As you can see, those mines are huge, and you can put even maybe tank over there and hide it from the attacks. And And if you look at the equipment of the Wagner soldiers, they are much better equipped compared to regular Russian army. They have good helmets, they have everything basically that the modern army should have. And I think for this attack on Soledar, they used the experienced soldiers. They have around 50,000 soldiers in common, but only 10,000 of those are experienced and 40,000 are ex-Russian prisoners. And Prigozhin already said that they took all of the city, which is not true until this hour, but I think this night Ukraine will evacuate all of the soldiers from the Soledar. And Prigozhin also said that he didn't expect that the Ukrainian army will resist that much in Soledar. They expect to take the city very fast with a rapid attack, but they also had the losses during that attack. But we already know that there is the open conflict between the regular Russian army and the Wagner group. And today the Russian Federation Defense Minister Shoigu put the Russian Colonel General Alexander Lapin as the commander of the Russian ground forces. And before, General Lapin was responsible for the Russian forces in Kharkiv region and particularly for Liman. And after Ukrainian army took Liman under their control, Kadyrov and Prigozhin start to blame General Lapin for the wrongdoing, saying that he is reckless, useless idiot. But still, Shoigu put this guy as the major commander of the ground forces of the Russian Federation right now. He knows that he got the conflict with Wagner soldiers, and Wagner soldiers got all of the supplies from the regular Russian army. And there is also one more conflict, my friends, the bureaucratic one, because officially the Russian army cannot give their weaponry and supplies to Wagner soldiers because they are outlaw according to the Russian Federation constitution. So what Russian army does, they just write off airplanes, tanks and other ammunitions to the Wagner soldiers. And it's perfect corruption scheme, first of all, for the regular Russian army, and the generals on the top, they just can write off what they want and saying that everything was supplied to Prigozhin and his army. And this system just cannot live forever at the same state, so someone needs to prevail, regular Russian army or the Wagner group. I think it will be the regular Russian army, or maybe Wagner soldiers will take the power in Russia. Any kind of scenario is good here for Ukraine, because the main thing that they have the conflict between each other. Alright, let's look at the current events from the wide perspective, what is actually happening in politics around Ukraine. The head of European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, met with General Secretary of NATO Stoltenberg, and they've discussed the new step of the military help to Ukraine. Ursula said that European countries should help more, even providing the heavy weaponry. And my friends, I do expect that after 20th of January, after new Ramstein meeting, then all of the allies will meet to discuss the military help to Ukraine. There will be the announcement of the tanks delivery to Ukrainian army. I'm 90% sure about it. And German Minister of the Foreign Affairs Anna Baerbock today attended the Kharkiv city. Kharkiv is under constant Russian attacks, and she was really shocked by what she saw there. And I think that they're just getting ready from the political perspective for the new military help to Ukraine. And that help will turn the situation on the front lines in favor of Ukraine again. I'm sure that the main decision to supply tanks to Ukraine is already been taken in Washington, Berlin, and also we know that France, together with Poland, they asked Germany to provide Leopard 2 tanks to Ukrainian army. Plus, Canada will purchase the air defense NASAM systems from United States of America and deliver those to Ukraine. And I was really surprised that Pakistan is getting ready to dispatch 159 containers of ammunition to Ukraine. Those are artillery shells and other munition. As an exchange gesture, Ukraine will upgrade their helicopters and also provide some of the spare parts for them. And it's not the official information, but I read a lot of articles that Pakistan is the ally of China. China is supplying Pakistan with the weaponry, especially during the Afghan war. Then United States were in Afghanistan. China supplied their ammunition to Taliban through Pakistan. And if Pakistan now helps Ukraine, maybe China is up to change their politics. And according to Financial Times, it will be like that. Xi Jinping planned to reset China's economy and win back France. The publication claims that China recognizes the likelihood of Russia's defeat in Ukrainian war. Moreover, according to this article, Putin hadn't said anything to Xi Jinping before the massive intervention to Ukraine. There were some of the clues, but China thought that Russia would attack just on the eastern side of Ukraine, as I also thought, but Russia dared to attack Kyiv city. And what they have just losses. Well, yeah, they took Soledar, but it doesn't change the strategic perspective for the Russian Federation. And now China sees that the Western countries are united to help Ukraine, they increase the military support, and there is no ways for Russia to win this war. China will not actively enter this conflict, and the only way out for them is to make a friendship with Western countries. Again, Ukraine starts to put new mines around Kyiv, and also we are reinforcing the defense lines on the northern part of our country, probably getting ready for the new attack from the Russian Federation. They may again use the Belarusian territory to start one more massive attack on Kyiv, but it will not happen this winter. I think maybe late February or I think March. Some of the cringe and shame from Ukrainian rich boys. I'll just turn the video and volume to you. So they turn on some of the remix music about the war and they celebrate something. What they celebrate? The situation in Soledar that is almost disaster, and here they drink the crystal champagne that is the most expensive out there, one of the most, and they are in Courchevel, the Courchevel battalion we call them. So they just left Ukraine and enjoy their usual life. They doesn't care about what is happening in their country. They wave the Ukrainian flag, but honestly, it's so bad, my friends. And I'm sure that they don't help to Ukrainian army or Ukrainians with any kind of the humanitarian help or other help. They just enjoy their normal corruption life. And yes, the most part of those rich boys, they're just sons and daughters of our corrupt Ukrainian officials like prosecutors, judges, and also politicians. They didn't do anything in their life for Ukraine. They just waste the money that they take from the ordinary people. And they are so rude that they publish those kind of videos in the social media. At the same time, our guys are dying in Soledar. It's just crazy. It's disgraceful. And I wish they will never return back to Ukraine. And you may also say, Dennis, you also left your country. Yes, I left it, but I work every day to raise the awareness of what is happening around my country. And also, I'll speak about the corruption in my country. And I want to raise the awareness, the global awareness about it, that it's time to help Ukraine, and it's also the time to change Ukraine and finish the corruption once and for all. That is what left from Makivka College that was completely destroyed by the HIMARS. Not basically because of the HIMARS rockets, but because Russia also put their ammunition depot out there, and here just see that there is no any building, nothing. Just construction rubbish, and for sure Russia lost more than 89 people out there. Building is destroyed, right guys? And this is the tactical map we have. Let's zoom into the Soledar because there are the hot events ongoing. As you can see, Russia took half of the city. The map was published this afternoon, but I'm sure that Russia is already controlling the central part of the city because some of the photos were published from the city center. And still, as you can see, the road is under control by Ukrainian forces, even though Russia may fire their artillery and not only to cut the supplies for Ukrainian army. And yes, I'm almost sure that Ukrainians will leave Soledar this night, and tomorrow unfortunately we'll see this kind of the picture. But as I said to you before, they were unable to take Bakhmut. That is why they concentrated their forces on Soledar. They took the small target, showing the success to the Russian leader, tactical success. But speaking from the strategic goal, they're far to reach it. My friends, now please press the like button to support this channel. And if you want to support me financially, there are some of the links in the video description just below where you can support me on Patreon, PayPal, or Donatello, whichever is more convenient for you. Thank you so much for your help. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.